Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am. It's clear now.
Good afternoon, dear. Yes.
Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, we can start.
Okay.
Good afternoon, dear participants. Here we are for the AICTE ISTE sponsored refresher induction program on value-based education system, current and future scenario, day 1, session 3. The session is going to be handled by Dr. P. Malliga from NITTTR, Taramani, Chennai. The topic is going to be on teaching method of higher education. I request Professor Dr. Murugan to introduce the guest for us.
Like, you are not recording? Are you not recording?
Yes, we are
Yes,
recording.
ma'am. We are recording.
Okay. You have not yet started.
It won't show here, ma'am. We are recording the screen actually.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. P. Malliga, ma'am, for our induction program. So Dr. P. Malliga has around 30 years of teaching, training, and research experiences. At present, she is working as Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. She is heading the Center for Educational Media and Technology, NITTTR, Chennai. Her academic qualifications are BE Computer Science and Engineering from University of Madras, MS Software System from BITS Pilani, MS by Research from Anna University, and PhD from University of Madras. The major contributions of Dr. P. Malliga are resource persons for more than 400 short-term courses in computer science related areas. She has coordinated 300 short-term programs in computer science areas. She is being a resource person for long-term program like PGDTCA, BTech Education, MTech HRD, and overseas teacher. She has coordinated 6 international programs for overseas teachers on educational media production for e-learning and instructional design for e-learning. She has trained 140 Bangladesh teachers and administrators in ICT and web designing. 26 papers were presented and published by her in the area of computer science and education in national and international conferences and in international journals. She is a team member in development of 10 CBTs by Computer Center NITTTR. She has produced several educational video programs in computer science and engineering. She guided students and teachers project and acted as doctoral committee member and examiner for Anna University and the University of Madras. She has offered 3 Swayam MOOC courses, e-content development for empowering teachers, and the AICTE Module 1 orientation towards technical education and curriculum aspects. She is coordinator for Swayam MOOC for teacher training courses, NITTTR, Chennai, sponsored by Ministry of Education, Government of India. Her areas of interest are data mining, cloud computing, technology-enabled teaching and learning, instructional design, e-learning and OER, immersive technologies, and so on. So we are very happy to have you, ma'am, in our orientation program. So I hand over the session to Dr. P. Malliga.
Very good afternoon to all. Thank you, Professor Ramasamy Murugan, like for introducing me. And as it was said, I had offered 3 MOOC courses, SWAYAM MOOC courses on the SWAYAM platform. One is for the e-content development. Another one was OER, Open Education Resources for Empowering Teachers. Another one was the NITTT modules. Okay, that particular module. With this, just give me a minute. I will share my presentation. Yeah, one second. Let me share. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
It is visible.
Okay, okay. Let me. Okay. Yes, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity so that I can share my thoughts with you regarding the teaching methods in higher education. Okay. Um, yeah, we are all been teaching during the pandemic, before the pandemic, and after the pandemic also, right? We'll continue that. So, what are the changes you had met with that, and how we have to cope up with all those things? Okay, that is what I would like to say. And actually, we'll be discussing about the learner characteristics, right? Then the 21st century learning and innovation skill, the interactive and innovative teaching methods, and as a teacher in future, the new norm where it requires us to be technologically, pedagogically, and content knowledge people, like where we have to manage the technology, manage the students, and manage the learning material. Okay, so this is what I would like to share with you. Uh, like if you look into this scenario, so I just wanted to read out for to you, because this was taken from the World Economic Forum, right? The World Economic Forum, which gives the checklist or the list of the skills required by the present day students, so that or the students or learners who should be employable, right? So they say that 50 percentage of all employees will need reskilling by 2025. Okay, as adoption of technology increases, according to the World Economic Forum Future of Job report. So they say everyone, whether they are a student or teacher or an employee of any organization, everyone has to there is a need to reskill, right, by 2025. Critical thinking and problem solving tops the list of the skills employers believe will grow in prominence in the next 5 years. So the need is like our students or our learners, okay, they have to possess the skills. Apart from the content knowledge, they should know how to apply and analyze, evaluate the knowledge, the content knowledge in a new situation or in a prevailing situation. So critical thinking and problem solving, because this is the need of the hour. It is the job of an engineer also. Okay, an engineer should be able to solve the problems available in and around him, right? Critically thinking, analyzing, problem solving tops the list of skills. Employers believe that it will grow in prominence in the next 5 years. Why they are saying this? Because most of the other jobs, the where we need not think, no, like the routine monotonous like data collection, data things, and all those things will be done by robots. Okay, it will be automated. All those things will be automated, and the human intervention is required in problem solving and critical thinking. The routine jobs will get vanished, which the monotonous routine jobs. Okay, so then newly emerging this area, the skills in self-management such as active learning, these are the new things has come, because when I was looking into this World Economic Forum report, job reports for 2020, this hadn't come there. Okay, it was not available. The thing called active learning, resilience, uh, stress tolerance, and flexibility. But these new things has emerged for the job report or the reskilling required by 2025. So respondent to the future of job survey estimate that around 40% of the workers will require reskilling of 6 months or less. So every 6 months, there will be like 40% of the workforce requires reskilling of 6 months or less. So see how, so lifelong learning, that and all will be in every profession. Okay, not only in teaching profession, because we always say no, teachers should be always keep on updating themselves, learning something new, because we have to address the students. It is not only for the teachers. You, any job you go, even if you have, if you're an entrepreneurship, or let us say you are a doing a business or whatever it is. Okay, new trends and new technology has come, and we have to adapt for it, and we have to work towards it, reskill ourselves. Otherwise, what will happen? We'll be getting lost. Okay, in whatever job it is there. So it is a requirement of the day, right? So we have to think whether our curriculum, whether our instruction are able to provide these type of skills, so that when they go to the workforce, when they go to the place, whether they can learn. Okay, like that is what we have to think, whether we are spoon feeding them with whatever is required, or whether we are making our students to think and act according to the situation, or give any for any given condition. Okay, so right, yes, but if you look into the present 21st century skills, you can see that the foundation literacies, like you are able to hear here, my dear participants. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
It's moving, no? Yeah. Okay. Because suddenly if there is anything, you can put it in the chat, or you can unmute and tell me, right? Fine. So we were talking about this 21st century skills, right? Again, I am referring to the old one, the World Forum, which says that, okay, the foundation literacy, that is the literacy, the 3 R's, we can say, the read, write, and arithmetic, numeracy, ICT literacy, scientific literacy, financial literacy, cultural and civic literacy. Okay, apart from these foundation literacy, we need the competency. The competencies are the critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, communication, and collaboration. The 4 C's, okay? Critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, communication, and collaboration. And the character qualities, okay? So foundation literacy, competency, and character qualities. What are the character qualities? Curiosity, to know the things. Okay, curiosity, initiative, right? The initiative, and then persistence to achieve, right? Or whatever it is in your hard work or whatever. Adaptability, leadership, social and cultural awareness. So if you look into this 21st century skills, all these are required. Not only the foundation literacy, the competencies are required and the character qualities are required. Okay. So then, if you the next thing, like this is a present requirement. If you are going to, let us say, if you are going to teach the first year students, maybe in 2024 or 25, they are going to graduate. Then what type of skills they require? So these are the top. There are many, around 15 to 20 things. The top 10 has been listed. It has been worked out with all the countries, not only from India or US or China. So if you look into the World Economic Forum job report, you can find out a very extensive report done by that people, right? So they say that the analytical thinking and innovation, you can see some of the new terminologies coming up. Active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality and initiative, leadership and social influence, technology use, monitoring and control, technology design and programming, resilience, then stress tolerance and flexibility, reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. Okay. So if you look into this one, see these apart, the previous slide which I showed the 4 C's. Okay. Now if you see, lot of emphasis has been, or it has been, the demand will be for analytical thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, originality, all those things. Okay. It adds the value education, that is the leadership, social influence, right? And the most important, because of this COVID, right, working with the, see, if you see that self-management, like stress tolerance, flexibility, active learning, learning strategy, all this comes under the self-management. Okay. And then, of course, working with the people comes with leadership and social influence, right? So considering all these things, okay, so we have seen what is the requirement for our students, or who will be getting the jobs in 2025. If you look at your present day students, how do they learn? Okay, how do they learn? See, if you see that they are multimodal learners, okay. Yeah, they are multimodal learners. My screen is moving. And
Yes.
yeah, and they are very good at discovering information. Yes, you do agree all these things. They have shorter attention span. The research says it is around 10 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes. It was from 10 to 12 minutes. Now it is 7 to 10 minutes attention span of an young adolescent sitting in our classes. Then they prefer a flexible learning environment. They prefer a relaxed learning environment. They like informal and simulating environment. They prefer active learning. They don't want to be a passive learner, sit in the class, stare at us, or stare at the board or at the presentation or at the screen. They want to actively participate in the learning sessions. Okay. Prefer interaction and collaboration. Okay. So they prefer, these are the preferences. They prefer interaction and collaboration. They like to work in groups. They like to interact with their peers, with their teachers, with all around them. And they are experiential learners. They want to learn from experience. See, that is a total, there is a total generation change, right? Like when I was a student, or let us say I belong to generation X, the present day students are generation Z. There's in between some people born between 1980s and 2000, 1999. They are called the generation Y. Okay, so we have three generation of people like me in generation X, then people like some of you might be in that category between 80s and 2000, and beyond 2000 is our student crowd, right? So if you look at that, we learned like whatever the gurus through the textbooks. But now if you say that our present day students, they want to experience and learn. Okay, they are called the experiential learners. Okay, so and they are comfortable with the technology, they are multitaskers, and they are extremely relational. Okay, that didn't change. They are more sensitive, right? So only it is called the tolerance should be there, and the environment, the social media, many things. All these things they should they should know how to tackle all those things, and particularly the teachers plays a bigger role next to their parents, because they are in the higher education. Here, how like the appreciation, motivation, all this has to be given by the teacher. So they are extremely relational. Even a small things which will make a big difference in their life. Okay, so they so you could have seen. See, they go in for a very let us say till the suicide, for small reasons, for failure in exams, for failure in love, or somebody scolding, or somebody ragging, something like that. So here the teachers has to play. So the motivation, the appreciation, all those things are very required. A personal care has to be done, right? So I have brought in here. And then the peer learning, they learn from the peers. Nowadays, a lot of people they collaborate, they learn, right? So they are peer learning. So these are, so you can also have peer reviewed articles, peer reviewed assignments, because through the assignments also their students will learn, right? So this is how. So these are the general learner characteristics. Fine? Are you fine with this? Okay, right. Let me have a small, one second. Let me have a small, what do you say, an activity, so that I can find, it will help me. I will share this URL with you so that you can be present in this. One second, just give me a minute. Okay, I'm just going to share you. Where is that? So here I'm sharing an URL, a link in the chat box. Please click the link and start um, doing that. Okay, just give your name any two job skills required for present day students. Just any job skills. Okay. Hope. Yeah, there are around 50 people attending this program. So I would like to uh, check it up. Yes. Name and just go and click the URL which I have shared in the chat box and try to give your inputs. Okay, name any 2 job skills required for the present day students. Okay, or your learners, you can just say. Yes, knowledge, software engineers, computer aided design, entrepreneurs, positive mindset, leadership, programming. Okay, it should be adaptability. Yes, 5 people have given your answers. What about others? It's only 5% of the people attending the course have given your answers. Are you able to get that URL? Okay, this is what we were discussing in the beginning, like talking about the 21st century skills. Okay, the learning and innovation skills. Okay, so what, in your opinion, yeah, yeah, creative thinking, teamwork, good, good, good. Mindset, passion, right? Teamwork, that's good. Thinking out of box, yeah, originality or creativity. You should know the difference between creative thinking and critical thinking, right? Critical thinking is like you're analyzing. Good, both are required. Hard working. Okay, that is persistence or hard working. Good. Yeah, 13 people have given your answers. Somebody has said communication. Yes, that is also very important. Interpersonal skills, very rightly said. Interpersonal skills, communication, all these comes under same category. Good communication skill, outstanding skills. What is that outstanding skills? I don't understand that. Outstanding skills means? Okay, people, only 30 percentage of the people are active, I believe, right? Giving your answers. Fine, good. Okay, it will be open. Okay, you can keep giving. I will come back to that later. You can give your inputs. Open. So I'll come back to your presentation slides. Okay, we were talking about these learner characteristics. Okay, Fine. So multimodal means learning from different sources, that is from the variety of sources, right? Because it helps in knowledge construction, it helps in engagement. Okay, so the learners become the agent of their own learning. So if you see that active learning and learning strategy is also one of the skills required. Okay, so multimodal. See, now everybody, most of us are multimodal learners. We learn from variety of sources, through videos, through podcasts, through what is it? Textbooks, to learning material, through a group, through our friends, right? So many things. And of course, this is required. Why? Because one size will not fit all. As a student in the class, there may be so many different types of learners, because you should know that every learner is unique. Excuse me, every learner is unique, and they have their own learning style. Some may be slow learners, some may be fast learners, some may be holistic learners, some may be serialistic learners, sequential learners, we can say, or some may be inductive learners, some may be deductive learners, right? Visual learners, auditory learner, kinesthetic learners. There are different types of learning styles. Okay, how a teacher can cater to all type of learners. So only I said one size will not fit. Maybe during our classes, either the synchronous mode or through face-to-face, we deliver to the class in general. We don't give a personalized learning environment. How can you cater to them how can you do that? Because that is a need of the hour. You should provide a personalized learning environment to our students. Okay, how can we do that? That is my question, right? That is what I said. The learning styles are different to cater to different people. We, as a teacher, I have to give variety of sources for them to learn, right? Because, and we cannot stick with our old traditional way of teaching, which was teacher centered, where we were using chalk and talk. Now we are using whiteboard, or the software Microsoft Whiteboard or OneNote, or maybe the projector screen, the memorization of facts, a written test and examination, manual evaluation. All these are traditional teaching methods. This is not sufficient for the 21st century learners. Okay, we all know that there is a paradigm shift from traditional teaching to the teacher centered to the learner centered or student centered. Okay, so in that case, in this paradigm shift, the role of the teacher is also changed. No more the teacher is called as a sage on the stage. He's been called as a guide by the side, a facilitator, a resource person. We have to facilitate the learning. The what is teaching is facilitating learning. Okay, I cannot learn for my students, but I can facilitate learning. I can provide them good material, good environment for them to learn, for them to apply the knowledge and skill, whatever they have learned, so that the retention and recall can happen, and they can use it in their future for solving the problem, real life problems. Okay, so the skill can be inculcated. So only the teachers are not called, no longer sage on the stage, not even the guide by the side. They become the co-constructor of learning. So co-constructor of learning. We are also learning, they are also learning, right? And particularly in higher education, this has to happen, because in the first slide, in my second slide, I showed that every 6 months we have to, there will be a demand for us to reskill ourselves by 2025. Okay, now I am coming. So we have seen what are the 21st century skills, and then what are the learner characteristics, and why this madam is talking about all these things. Because as a teacher, what should you have, right? You should have the three knowledge things. Okay, we call it, it's a TPAC framework. The three knowledge, one is the content knowledge. The content knowledge, you are the master of the content. You might be a civil professor, or a mechanical professor, or a electrical or electronics or whatever it is, science, physics, chemistry, mathematics, whatever it is, that is your content. So the content knowledge. So you know what to teach, the content you know, okay, the curriculum is given, the syllabus is there, the course outcomes are there. You should, as a teacher, I know what is expected out of my teaching, that is what the student should be able to do after undergoing the course, okay, the content. Then that is what to teach, you are aware. Then the next thing is the pedagogical knowledge. How to teach, that is more important. You might be a master in the content. If you're not able to deliver it, if you're not able to make your students learn or facilitate learning, if your students are not learning, what is the use of me teaching all those things, right? So the pedagogical knowledge, that is how to teach, the motivation, how to motivate the students to learn more, how to motivate them, or how to inculcate the 21st century skills like thinking, problem solving, creativity, how I can inculcate all these things in my teaching learning process. That is called the pedagogical things. How can I use assessment for learning? All this comes under the pedagogical knowledge. So you know what to teach. Second thing, you should know how to teach. The third one is the technological knowledge. Now we are in the information of, in the age of information, and next comes the age of imagination. Okay, I'm not going to tell more about it. That is your future trend, not my, the world trend. Okay, right. That is my future thing. Sorry, next stage, from agricultural, from industry, from information, then imagination. Now we are in, let us say we are in the age of information age. So here the technology plays a vital role. So every teacher should use the ICT, the information communication technology, in their teaching learning process. Okay, you might be a civil engineer, you might be using so many softwares. Okay, be a building information system, that is RBIM, or let us say CAD suite, or many software, MATLAB, all those software which you will be using for your content knowledge. That alone is not sufficient. You should know how to use the technology for your teaching learning process. Okay, so that is what. So in your context, it is very important, whatever may be the context, right? So the content knowledge, the pedagogical knowledge, and the technological knowledge. So because of the technology, we were able to adapt ourselves, so that during the pandemic, we were able to continue with the education. It was not a full stop, it was a comma. Maybe there were many challenges, there were a few benefits out of this, because it never stopped, education never stopped, learning was happening. Maybe there are some challenges we had met on the both side, the teacher side, the student side, the environment, everything. But still it was not a full stop, right? So it continued because of the technology. And now comes the interactive or innovative teaching methods. See, as we have seen that learners prefer interaction, prefer collaboration, they prefer active learning things. Okay, so we should not be the old teacher who just only having the lecture method. Or maybe for our engineering, we'll have lecture come demonstration. That alone is not sufficient. Okay, so and also in order, see, every engineering polytechnic or engineering college, we are into the outcome base. Okay, where we go for accreditation, and it is based on the outcome based education. And then next comes the CDIO, that I'm not going to talk. Okay, let us say we have the outcome based education. In the outcome based education, everything is concerned with the outcomes, your learning outcomes. Okay, so here I think you all know about the Bloom's revised Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so let me have it in the chat. What are the six? Yeah, like how many people? Yeah, 18 people have done. Good. So I would like to know what are the six levels or of the cognitive taxonomy which has been given by Benjamin Bloom. Okay, the revised Bloom's taxonomy, which was revisited by Cartwell and Anderson. Okay, so Revati madam is giving attendance. I'm not taking attendance here. Maybe okay, somebody will be caring about it. Now I want the output. That is sorry. I want the answer for the six levels which you could have come across or which you will be utilizing in for your cognitive domain. See, learning happens in three domains. They are, what is it? They are cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domain. For each domain, you have a taxonomy. For cognitive domain, you have the Bloom's taxonomy. And the outcome-based education and the present day, we are using the revised Bloom's taxonomy. Can you just tell me what are the six levels? Do you know, or should I say? Because sometimes it becomes redundant, right? Yes, my dear participants.
Knowledge.
Knowledge, okay. Can you go for the revised Bloom's taxonomy? Revised Bloom's taxonomy. See, the knowledge starts with the revised, that is the older Bloom's taxonomy, which now the noun form has been converted into verb form. Knowledge has been renamed as remember.
Yes, remembering, understanding,
Yeah, good.
applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating.
Yes. So yes, David, Amos David. Am I correct? Most David.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah, thank you very much for your answer. Rightly said, the revised Bloom's taxonomy talks about the six levels from lower order to higher order. It is remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. If you take this also, you can see that creating is at the top. Okay, the analyzing, evaluating, it is critically thinking and giving judgment, and all those things are available. See, all those things are higher order skills. But if you look into our teaching learning process, mostly we are restricting ourselves. You might be saying, okay, no time, madam. We have to cover the subject within 3 months or 4 months, the semester. How to go for this create level or analyzing level? No, it is possible. We have to redesign our teaching things, okay, our delivery. So mostly if you look into it, it is only the lower order skill worried about the yes, of course, you see, even to create or even to analyze, you have to remember the facts, you have to understand all the concept, principles, theories behind it, right? So remember, understand, apply, we have to push forward, upward, that is, we have to go for the other higher order thinking skill, that is analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Okay, so where did I? Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Coming back here. So when you are going to adopt the normal traditional way of teaching, we cannot go further, like we cannot inculcate the critical thinking, problem solving, all those skills in our students. So what is the solution? How to do that? So you have to adopt to a new methods of teaching. Might be, some of you might be practicing it. Some may be heard about it, but still fearing to experiment. You have to start, okay? When you start, you can see initially for anything, you will have some, what do you say? There will be some time to enjoy the benefit of it. So it will take some time, but when it has been planned, executed well, definitely, because these are all the research things which has been advocated to you so that you can follow it up, test it yourself, because it has been a proven cases in many part of the world, right? So you can go for flipped learning or flipped classroom, where you give all the resources, the learning resources and the time you give to the students. Let them learn. You are pushing the learning to them. Okay, you're pushing. That is what initiative learning, lifelong learning, anything. So you are inculcating that also. So you're pushing the learning, provided all the materials required for them has to be given along with the time. When they come to the class, don't repeat it, don't teach the same thing, right? You have to solve the problem or ask questions. Either you ask questions or they can ask questions. So questioning skills, problem solving, group discussion, why it is happening like this. See, it will take some time for you to do that, but that will be very interesting. But when they learn that as a group, in a group, they will not forget, because they are communicating, they are collaborating with their things. You can give some activities, right? So like that, and they are catering to their needs, right? So you have my thing is, we advocate for flipped learning. So you have to push all the learning to them, and the doubt clearing, doing activities, doing assignments. Let them do it inside the classroom. Okay, so that is the flipped learning. Blended learning, of course, right? This is very much needed. Either you blend it with face-to-face and online, or with asynchronous and synchronous. So where do you share the material? See, let us say flipped learning. I'm saying, okay, push the learning to them, share all the resources, give them the time. Where do you push it? You have to put, you should have a learning environment, that is a learning management system. Okay, a learning a software or an application where you are going to put all the resources, activities, assignments, and which you are going to share it with your students. Okay, so you need an LMS, right? So that is a mandate now, right? You can either, there are hundreds of LMS available in the market. Google Classroom, and then Moodle is an open source LMS. Then cloud-based LMS, Canvas, Edmodo, TeacherMint, many Schoology. Like I knew few. And then of course Blackboard is a proprietary one which we have to purchase. There are many open source as well as cloud-based LMS. So every teacher should know at least one or two LMS, so that he can work with the students, okay? Either online or offline. So for asynchronous learning, you have to push all those details onto the things. And the second thing is the collaborative sessions. So collaborative sessions is a group activities or group work or something like that, right? So you have, so they like to work in group. So you have to give, so many collaborative tools are all there. So when you're giving an assignment, tell them to submit it using the Google Docs, because it is free and open. And anybody can, in the group, if there is any correction, it will be available to all. So tell them to submit in the group, submit using the online collaborative tools. Then yes, gamification is very required. Now the students, they tend to, you have to motivate them to learn. So if you say motivated learner learns most, okay, how do you motivate them to learn? It is not game-based learning. Game-based learning is you are using some games to learn some particular thing. Right now, this gamification is the whole thing itself. You can gamify. So if you're going to finish all these things, I'll be giving some batches. And if you're going to acquire these batches, you will be getting so many marks in your internal assessment. Just like a goal setting, no? For them to achieve that particular thing. So they know, if I want to get 20 out of 20 in my internal assessment, I have to finish all these jobs, okay? Like see, you can remember or recall what your primary school teachers were doing with the the chart, we're putting so many stars in our report sheets and other things. The same way, here it comes the electronic badges or some marks, which will help them to motivate the showcase of all those things. So gamification. So there are some tools like quizzes, Quizlets, or Kahoot, where you can encourage them to, you can use these tools and make active participation, because during this pandemic we saw how it was very difficult for all of us to take the online sessions. We do not know what is happening on the other side, so everybody is logged in, okay, and due to the bandwidth we say switch off your cameras, put off your mute your microphones. What happens? Not know. I'm talking to the screen. Whether I'm talking to through the screen to my students, I do not know. So these things are happening. So you have to use some tools, online collaborative tools, online assessment tools, so that you gamify and make them engage in the class. That is, see, that is the most challenge for any teacher. And usage of LMS, I told, case studies, role play, video lectures, use videos, share the videos with the interactive quizzes in between, inline quizzes, you can have it, so that you can also test them whether they are whether they have seen the videos, how much time they have spent on the videos, what are the questions related to the quiz videos, you can ask them. So these are the tools the teacher has to learn, and they have to use it in their teaching learning process. And you can also use social media for discussion, because nowadays see how all our students are they are only in the walls. They are not able to come out, they are not able to communicate with the school children and the college students. They are finding very, very difficult. So many problems we hear. Okay, so mentally they are sick because of these things, right? So at least we can use the social media where they can discuss. We have to provide the forum for them to discuss. See, for past 1.5 years, 2 years almost, they were not seeing their classmates. They do not know who they are. They have not seen some, right? So starting from their schools, colleges, whatever thing. So at least in the social media, but it has to be guided, restricted, all those things. Fine. So I was talking about their attention span. Yes, their attention span. Let us say we are trying to bring it to our wavelength in the initial stage by gaining their attention. Let us say after sometimes what happens as the class goes on, the attention span decreases. But it is always better to have an ideal situation. So how to bring it to at least to that green level on the curve? So you have to bring in lot of activities in between. Okay, so that is what required. So active, they prefer active learning. So active you have to bring. So how you can do that? So you have to use that is, you have to change from passive learning to active learning. That is where you can bring short activities. I always give the analogy to the film directors, Indian film. If you take any Indian film, you can see that it is not monotonous. Okay, you have so much of variety which caters to different types of audience. If you take a Bahubali, right? What happens? Like you have so many characters, so many visual treats, computer graphics, dialogues, many things. So there are different types of target audience, right? So you can take any Indian film, like apart from the documentary films, you can see there is a storyline, there is a humor track or comedian. All those things are all given in one thing. The main thing is the audience should sit for 2.5 hours or 2 hours and watch the movie, and they have to appreciate, right? Our target is maybe 45 minutes or 1 hour. The student should be engaged in learning. To engage them in learning, just to telling what is available in the book, it will not work out. So we have to, if you want your learning to happen, we have to bring lot of activities inside the class. So after there is a formula, I can always say that 10 minutes, I have a diagram, I think I have not included here. 10 minutes of lesson development, 3 to 4 minutes of activity. 10 minutes of lesson development, 3 to 4 minutes or 5 minutes of activity. Then 10 minutes, then summarization, activities, and follow-up. That is how it has to be planned. So every teacher, apart from the content, you have to bring in 2 or 3 activities so that you can do it in the class. Okay. So it can be, let us say, you might be doing it, but it will not be done very seriously and sincerely. Like maybe you could have asked some questions. If you see somebody okay, not interacting or not interestingly doing it anything, and particularly if it is face to face, at least we can see their face and understand whether they are understanding or not. But in the online, it is again, it's difficult. So we have to systematically plan in such a way, we give them the activities, make them engage. You can you can check it out how many people are engaged in their activities. Okay, so you can have polls, you can have think, pair, share, minute paper, summarizing, fill in the blanks, quizzes, like that you can have, right? If it is a 5 to 8 minutes, like you can have breakout rooms when you are using Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, or you can have quizzes or group works. Okay, problem solving, creating questions or asking questions. These are, maybe it will take 5 to 8 minutes. And then you can also have collaborative activities which they can complete outside the class, share their reports, results. You can ask them to present in the class. So like this, you have to plan. Okay, just this is called the pedagogical knowledge. The content knowledge, what to know, what to teach, that you know. How to teach these things, because the present day learners or active learners, they prefer active learning strategy. That is the demand of the thing, right? So the implications to seeing all these things, like we have seen, what is it? The learner characteristics, the 21st century learning skills, and the innovative or interactive teaching methods. I have named it. You have to really see, because I can, we used to tell them how to develop these lesson plans for flipped and blended learning. Then how we also tell them how to use those things, thinking that you know it or you have to go about it. Okay, right? So what is the implications to the teachers? First thing is, long lectures are not recommended. Don't keep on talking. Talking teachers are not required nowadays. Okay, so long lectures are not recommended. Teaching with technology will have greater impact. You want to make them work. Okay, use the technology, mix up the methods. Mix up the methods. Use video clips, podcasts, concept charts, maps, clickers, presentations, and other tools. All these things has to be mixed up. Use all these things. Explore micro learning. Explore micro learning. What do you mean by micro learning? That is small, creating small learning objects, okay, which you can share it in the LMS or in the WhatsApp or whatever social media where learning will occur, okay, which will help you in your course delivery. And use of LMS, okay. So just I will have one input I wanted to have from the students, right? Um, how many people are using LMS? If you are using LMS, say yes. And what LMS are you using? That is what, fine. I want it in the chat box. I want it in the chat box. So everybody, I want everyone to put it in the chat box. What are you using LMS? If you are using LMS, just type yes and comma, what LMS are you using it? Okay. Yes, please do it. Yes, Ishwar is saying yes. Yeah, no, yes, comma, what LMS? Seelam Narasimha Reddy Garu. Yeah. Hi, madam. Could you elaborate how could you implement flipped class? Yes, I will do that. I will do that. Okay, fine. I'll come to that. Yes, others, I would like to know if you are using LMS, say yes. If you are not say using LMS, say no. If it is yes, you have to say yes, comma, what LMS are you using? Yes, Moodle, Google Meet. Okay. Moodle for the asynchronous learning and Google Meet for synchronous learning. Great. Moodle is a Moodle. Okay. Uh, Ramu. Okay. Ramu. Okay. Revati. Yes, what it is. Because there are hundreds of LMS, so I would like to know what LMS are you using. See, your institute might be providing, or your department might be providing, or you might, as an individual, you might be using it. If not, see, it is going to become a mandate that every institute should have an LMS. Okay, where the teachers will have the user logins and students will be having their logins. Okay, so if it is your institute LMS, you say it is our institute LMS, okay? Your IT department or your institute will be providing LMS, but it should be there. If it is not there, you are going, you will be having some problem in your accreditation and all those things later. Okay, yes, Teams, Mobile, Google Meet, right. Muhammad Fazil. Yes, MS Teams. Okay, MS Teams, in that itself, you will share all those things, no SharePoint. Okay, okay, you're using MS Teams with your institute, right? Okay. See, why I'm asking this question is, see, in every profession, you take a doctor, engineer, or a chartered accountant, any profession you take, they know their customer advocates, or they know their customers, their clients or customers or patients or whatever it is, right? They know their customers. As a teacher, my profession is teaching. Okay. As a teacher, do I know about my learners? Do I know about my learners? Right? When they are learning, how much they have learned. When I give some assessment, how do they fare? How much mark they have got it? As a class, where they find it difficult to understand, or as an individual where I have to do it. The personalized learning will never happen if you are not using these things, okay? Right? So, if you want to have the learner analytics, where an environment which provides the learner analytics and if you want to share the resources and activities with your learners, then LMS is a must. Okay, here Chinnaramu has said, Professor has said, license WebEx for more than 1,000 users. Good. So that is for the synchronous learning. You take class, you do all those things. For asynchronous, yes, Zoom, WebEx, all these are for synchronous learning. Let us say now our students will learn, they prefer very flexible, relaxed learning environment, isn't it? So I want to learn at any time, anywhere. Now our students have the access to internet and the device, smartphone or any laptop. Or if you are not providing the content to them, if you are not giving some activities for them to learn, there are so much time for them. They get engaged in so much other activities. Okay, so you have to have a platform, keep them engaged. That is most challenge, but you have, unless otherwise you use the technology, it is not possible for you to make them engage. So use some elements, right? It can be Moodle, or it can be Canvas, or it can be Google Classroom, or Teacher Mint, Schoology, Edmodo. There are many, hundreds of LMS available. But whatever people are telling here, WebEx, Zoom, all these are the platform for, what do you say, synchronous learning, for asynchronous learning. See, every time the teacher cannot be present 24/7, but they need their attention. How do you give them? Through the asynchronous mode of learning. So you share your resources, you post your assignments, all those things in Google Classroom. That's a very user friendly and all those things. And then Canvas is very nice, Moodle is there. So you have to use all those things. Yes, for 100. Yeah, I understand. So your institute could have purchased. Fine. Good. So these are for the synchronous learning. Either there are some institutions where they go for sophisticated LMS with student information systems, with the outcome-based education, like outcomes, every assessment, everything they assign it. So it is all, they have used technology for that. So it is always better to use this, because you know, when I go give an assignment, when they submit it, at what time they are submitting it. And if I given a video assignment, at what time they are watching, how many times they have watched, whether they have skipped or how much time they have spent in a particular portion of this. All these things will help. Okay. See that just getting that, it will be recorded. Using that information, that will help you to design or redesign your thing. If you are not using it, it will not be helpful. So only, see, technology will help, allow you to get all these things, but you have to use these information. Okay. So coming back to this one. Okay. Somebody asked about the flipped learning. Okay. Yeah. Who was that? Learning. Yes. Seelam Narsimha Reddy. Okay. Good. See, I think flipped learning is, what do you mean by flip? Flip is the ulta, all right? So in a normal classroom, what happens is teaching learning takes place. Okay, teaching learning takes place, and you teach. The students are supposed to learn, right? Then you give them assignment, homework for them to solve at home and bring and submit or something like that. This is a normal classroom. So where the teacher and student meets. But when they go to their home, okay, you see, I'm a teacher where I solve simple problems and give difficult problems as assignment for them to solve. So when they go to their home or to their room to solve this, they get stuck up, right? So there's no one to help them. Maybe very few people get help from the seniors or from the net. Now there are so many sites which helps them in homework and which helps them in assignments. They get it submitted. The learning is not happening just for namesake or for the mark's sake. They want to submit the assignment and finish it off. Is learning happening? No. Is there anyone to guide them? Is there anyone to clear their doubts at their place or at their home or their room? No. So why don't we flip it? Flip it is push see what is supposed to happen in the class, you are pushing it outside. Let the learning takes place outside the classroom. Inside the classroom, we will solve problems. We will study, make them in groups, learn something, discuss, okay, give them some activity, let them do, present it, right? Or let them ask questions, or you ask questions, all those things. No assignment, no homework. Let them do it inside the class. Let them see problem solving, doubt clarification, that can be happen in the class. So for in that case, if you want to implement such type, see there, I said that if you are going to use a flipped classroom with blended learning mode, then you can inculcate the higher order thinking skills, the critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, all this can happen in your class. Learning can happen in your class. So how it is possible, right? What, as a teacher, a course is assigned to me. In the beginning of the semester, I have to prepare the calendar, which coincides with the your institute or university calendar. Okay, right. Okay, this day I'm going to teach this lesson. For this lesson, what are the resources? What are the prerequisites? What are the things? So first time you have to sit and collect all the learning materials. Okay, there are so many open education resources. Open textbooks are available. Okay, which has the license for you to freely share it, use it, redistribute it, revise it, remodify it. Okay, modify it. So you check out all those resources required for your course, share it in the LMS. So in the beginning of the semester itself, maybe you can release, you prepare it, release it week by week, or you can release it unit by unit. You can check out with your students' mentality. If you put everything in the first thing, they get also demotivated, or they'll say, "Oh, so much," like that. Okay, so what you do is release week by week or unit by unit. You have some strategy, but you have to be prepared with all those things in the beginning. So all the activities, assignments, reading material, any videos, you have NPTEL, SWAYAM, Coursera, edX, Open Education Resources, MIT, OCW. Now, so much of online education resources are available. Either your own resource or open education resources, you find which is required, which will suit your target audience. Pick out all those materials and then arrange it in such a way you put it in your LMS. Okay, if you can use Moodle or Canvas, Unit 1, Lesson 1, what is the video, or what is the learning material handout for it, or some open textbook, a part of the textbook, or then activities, everything. You go visit MIT OCW, check up your own course there, how the professor of MIT is using it. From 2000 till 2021, whatever they are doing, it is openly available. You can download it, use those things, or you can see how those things has been shared, right? It will give you I'm just giving it for you to see how it has been done, right? So for resources sharing. And then put all those in your LMS, let the students do it. When you say, this is the time, okay, this date I will be discussing on this, okay, the time you give. So don't teach that from the fundamentals. Okay, already you have shared the source. It is their responsibility to learn, read it and come. You ask questions. First day, you might not get all answers from all. Maybe only a few percentage could have opened. No, you insisted, you make it. The beginning, you will find some failures in your thing. Okay, it will not work out. No, no. Second time, whoever has done, you appreciate them. You can don't again go to the back to our normal classroom situation. Then you cannot, definitely you cannot practice this one. You make them available, like, right? So you, that is how you can implement the flipped classroom, and it has been done in many universities, colleges, and they have given it before the pandemic. Before the pandemic, we had a big digital pedagogy things where AICTE has arranged, okay, in many of the universities in North India and South India. Like many people, they have used this flipped learning methodology either for the full semester or for some part of those things, okay. So it is a very good thing. You can try it. So that is what I would like to say. So did you get it, sir? So here you need you need the technology for it. Okay, so students should be able to access the learning content at any time, anywhere. So in that case, you need an LMS for it. Without an LMS, you cannot have flipped classroom. Where do you share the resources? Okay, you cannot just tell them, go find it in internet. Internet only, it will be there, but you have to customize it and give it to your students. Okay, right? Did you get it, sir? Like, was it? Nasima Reddy, sir. Yeah. 21 people have given. Good communication comes in the center. Right. Coming back to our presentation, I'm not able to hear from him. So I was talking about all these things. Right? Yeah. So I have a few more slides to go through. So any teacher should have 5 different types of technology. What is it? The learning management system, video conferencing software. Everybody is using Google Meet, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, something, right? So this is the video conferencing software. Am I sharing the screen? Check it out. Am I sharing?
Yes, yes, we are able to see it now.
Oh, okay. Uh, Fine. And then, yes, so this is what. First technology LMS, second is video conferencing, then learner engagement. Learner engagement one, okay. Learner engagement software. You can have many things like which I've used for one small example I showed is a Mentimeter. Like you can have poll everywhere, quizzes, Quizlet, so many software, Socrates, Geoparadigm, so many softwares are available. Okay, Kahoot, which you can engage them in the learning. Even the simple chat, which is available in the uh, thing, you can do it. Either it can be done in face-to-face or in online. So some engagement software, you can use it when you're using the technology. Then assessment tool, from simple Google Forms to the highly complex proctored exams. Because assessment is a part of our teaching learning. So you have to, every teacher should know some to how to create a quiz, how to use all those things, okay? So that is very essential, fourth one. The fifth one is the virtual lab. Since we are the science and technological stream, okay? So virtual lab is STEM that requires virtual labs. So there are so many simulated things available. Make use of it. blabs.co.in, then PET simulations. All these are the technologies. So managing the technology, at least 5 different types of technology is required. Then managing the students, yes, you have to take care of the attention span. You know the research says it is around 7 to 10 minutes. Don't give a half an hour video or not half an hour, it's at least okay. Even if it is 1 hour or 1.5 hours videos, cut it into small chunks. Okay, one day, one it will save the bandwidth, another one is the attention span. Then you can do, because now the technology is so nice, we can edit, we can insert, we can do whatever you want. So try to equip yourself to learn all those technology. And then the course content, the content should be provided in varieties of ways. The same thing in a video, same thing in what is it, as a text format or as a group discussion. So then the student motivation, you have to build up the motivation for them to learn. So that is also required. You might be putting all those things on the LMS, but you should also motivate them. Okay, you have to go open it, check it out. Always you have to keep sending alerts, emails, asking them to do it. Otherwise, it will not be done. Once if they learn to do it, once if they know the thing, how it has been done, then it is next thing will be easy. Initially, it will be difficult. The next thing is presenting the e-content in different ways. Okay, it can be audio, video, simulation, animation, interactive ebooks. Now, the next stage, I said, no, it's an age of imagination where immersive content, augmented reality, virtual reality. See, you might be using Google Maps for your driving and other things. Just see how it was 2 years back and now it is. See, it is all 3D models have come where you have a spatial thing with all tags. So many things have come up, isn't it? It has been changed, the way you look at the data. So same way, our books, our your energized books, your books with QR code, which will take you, which will show you a video, which will show you a 3D model, where you can learn the abstract things very easily, right? Because in those days I used to imagine so many things. It may be wrong or right, but now the abstractions, whatever abstract idea you are able to model it, you can be able to show it, right? So that is what. Then presentation, database, e-journals, games, visuals, text. So there are different forms of e-content. If you look into it, yeah, because here this is called the community of inquiry. See, for anything to happen, if you want to have the educational experience, then the educational experience can be provided by the cognitive presence, okay? Then teacher presence and the social presence, right? So using the thing, you have to select the correct content, and the teacher and the social presence provides setting the climate for them to learn, and then the social presence and cognitive presence will give the discourse, and all this put together, all the teacher presence, social presence, and cognitive presence will give an educational experience. Okay, so that is required. This is, we call it as a community of inquiry. Okay, OI model. This I want to share with you the elements of educational experience. Okay, so with this, okay, so we have, so I was talking about the, I'm just restricting to the time given to me. Okay, so we were able to discuss what are the 21st century skills and what are the skills required for our students to be employable at 2025. You can refer the World Economic Forum job report. Okay, and then we saw the learner characteristics, how these two gives implication to the teacher, how we have to refine ourselves from the sage on the stage, the guide by the side, to the co-constructor of learning. And then what are the innovative and interactive teaching methods we can adopt to cater to the needs of the 21st century learners. We saw different methods which you can use any of these methods appropriately with that. And we were discussing about the 5 technologies any teacher should know. One is the LMS, second is the video conferencing tool, third is the engagement tool, fourth is the assessment tool, fifth is the virtual labs. And then we were seeing how to manage the students regarding their motivation, regarding the content, right, regarding their engagement. And then as a teacher, how I have to provide the learning material in different forms to cater to the all type of learners. Okay, this is what we have discussed in this given time. So this will give you, so there are so many research things which is happening all around in the education research. So we have, you can try it out, and you can also share your experience in the conferences and the articles regarding your teaching learning process also. So with this, I will end up my presentation. I would like to take questions.
Thank you, ma'am. The floor is open for questions. If you have any questions, you can ask madam.
Very silent. All are filling up the forms which you have given them, I think, right?
Yes, ma'am. It has 10 questions, so all are answering them, I guess.
Oh, okay. Right. Thank you, Professor. Right. So if you don't, I do not know whether I have made some sense. Okay. So thank you very much for the opportunity given.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful insight on teaching method of higher education. And we have come to the end of day 1, session 3. So tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we'll be meeting back again. The session will be on Universal Human Values by Dr. L.S. Ganesh, retired professor from IIT Madras.
Yeah, there
Ma'am,
is a
there's
question.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
How to create students learning skills content for students. See, yes. Can I, how to inculcate the students learning skills in our teaching learning process? Can I put it like that, right? So in that way, you have to prepare your assessment or activities so that it should not be just recalling whatever is there in the book. If you are using if you are telling them to do an assignment, you redefine the assignment. Don't tell them to write or reproduce whatever is in that book. You redefine the same thing. You tell them to make a video, or you tell them to make a presentation, and you can make it as a group work also. So new products will be coming. So you can see the creativity is being inculcated. You can see people work in groups where then the collaboration or teamwork is inculcated, and you can see that how they go search for the things they wanted to be so unique. They want to put so much of information. Somebody will be good at something researching, so they will collect all those details. Okay, so communication, written communication, presentation styles. So all this can be inculcated. So when you are going to give leave out the problems and others, that is the arithmetic problems and all, you leave. That is different. See, whenever you are giving some assignment to do this, okay, you give some 4 or 5, what is it, topics to be written as an assignment. Don't give such type of assignment. That is waste of time for you. Okay, for us maybe. It is easy to set, but it will be challenging. But once if you do that, you have to redefine. We call it as a SMER model: substitution, augmentation, redefinition, and modification. So modify the assignments or activities which you give them, so that you can inculcate these learning and innovation skills in your students. And the assessment, how do you evaluate? See, now the AICTE has given the, just go and read the examination reforms. It was given in November 2018, the examination reforms by AICTE, because we are just checking only the knowledge, that is the 3 hours content knowledge, whatever we can reproduce in the examination hall. No, the assessment has to be made based upon all those things. So the reformation, whether we are measuring the competency, what are the competency required? So lot of what do you say, has to be, reforms has to be done in our education system, because our education system is not measuring any competency, just pass mark of that 3 hours. We produce so many engineers, but whether they are capable to do some whatever is their core competency, we don't measure that. So only, so at least, okay, it is going to come. It is a slow, in the whatever changes is made in education, it will be slow, because it should not affect all part of the thing. So you go read out the um, the examination reforms by AICTE, which was published in um, November 2018. It is available as a PDF, downloaded, because every teacher should know we are working, right? So AICTE examination reforms, November 2018. So they want to do that in our examination pattern. So as a teacher, start with your assignments where you can inculcate these skills in your students. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Any other questions, participants?
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Can I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
So I'm Dr. Narasimha Reddy. So working in Rajalakshmi Engineering College.
Okay, good.
So is the assignment is good for the student learning center, or can we keep any, what is that, some kind of case studies can we incorporate in the some 3 months course of their particular semester, and all, which will be useful for the student centric learning?
Okay, student-centric learning, you can use the projects, mini projects, Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
then in your class you can use it in many ways, sir, right? So problem based learning or project based learning, you can do it. So you can take all those things and you can do it, right?
If, no,
So
yeah, if the student is in second year, so how can we inculcate some kind of skills to those people and all, because they have joined in a within a 2 year span of time after COVID and all. How
mhm,
can we enhance their skills and all, because they have not met any friends and all during this COVID. So
yes,
how can we enhance their skills and all?
that is what. See, what you have to do is you have to provide. See, I will tell my experience. Maybe you can
Okay,
try
madam.
it out. So what I have done in all my training program, we don't meet face to face, but we do conduct for the past 2 years so many, starting from NIT, Tiruchi, Triple IT, then all the AICTE colleges. We have trained them. But how
Okay.
do they socially do it? The LMS,
Yes.
using the discussion forum inside the LMS, either Moodle or Canvas. Okay. To an extent, Google Classroom also is done, but it is open. Right. Okay. What you can do is you can tell them to tell about themselves. Okay. Write about 2 lines about themselves, then good things about them. So that it will be like a ice breaking sessions for the students. They could have not met. They do not know who's their cool things. So this will help them to learn about that. You have to tell them, it is like an assignment. You have to tell them, you have to read 2 posts of others and tell what is good about them. Right? So like this you have to create, so that you're going to make one good what is it, an environment socially, like where that too off through online. So in your LMS you can see, you can make so many wonders, right? I have
Yes.
been using it and it is very successful. Not only the teacher knows about the the students will also know about others. See, my second son is also now joined the college, but he has not seen any one of them, right? See,
Yes,
I'll
madam.
ask you, who's your friend? "Oh, I do not know. I'm just attending the online classes." So that there is no way for them to do all those things. So the teacher has to provide a conducive environment, a congenial atmosphere for them to interact also in a right manner, in a thing. So that is why. So you can start with a discussion forum which is available in the LMS. You cannot put it in the social media because it will be open to all. Everybody will come. So it will be. We cannot be a moderator there. So if it is within you and your students, that will be good. So only I keep on advocating for LMS, right? So you can have that. You can have your students can communicate among themselves and with the instructor, that is the teacher.
Yeah, thanks, madam. Thanks for your wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.
And there's one more question, ma'am. In pandemic situation, how to improve the education quality?
Yes, definitely. Because first of all, I would like to say that the pandemic should not continue. Now we are going to some normal, but of course there is so much other fear like Omicron and other things, right? Fine. How to improve the education quality? Because usage of technology is one of the best way to use that. Okay, though we are not see, so there are some lacunas, there are so many challenges, but still it should not stop. So you make best usage of these technologies, and after this pandemic also, don't leave out. So you blend with online and face to face. The good things of face to face and the good things of online should continue. See the resources. See, just think, anybody admitted in your institute knows how to read and write. Okay, either English or in whatever language. Okay, so you provide them the resources, provide them the time. So I might be a slow learner. If I get the resources for all my learning, they don't tell them to buy books on all those things. So many open education resource books are there. Go to OER Commons or OpenStack or NDI, that is National Digital Library. All the books are available. See to that you share the open resources to them. Okay, and it should be you do the curating. So you find the appropriate material, you curate. Curate means organize, modify, trim whatever you wanted, you do it according to your course curriculum for your learning outcome. Give it to them. You make them learn, right? That is how you can do that. So these things can be possible. The sharing and caring is possible only by technology. So use the technology to improve the quality of education, right? That is what I can say. Yeah, I can give a lot of inputs in that, right? How to improve the quality. So we have to be meticulously plan our sessions and see whether you are meeting the outcomes of your courses. If you are able to meet the outcomes of your courses, your job is done. But every teacher, if they are able to meet the outcomes of their courses, the program outcomes will be met, and then finally they will be getting what they are supposed to do with, right? Okay, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful questions, because it shows your interest in the passion and the interest in teaching and how to improve the quality of education. I should really appreciate Dr. Hassan Reddy, then Revit, like many people who have asked the questions. Thank you very much for that.
Malliga madam.
Yes, yes, madam. Yes,
Madam,
madam.
are you hearing?
Yes,
Hello.
yes, I'm able to hear
Are
you.
you hearing, madam? See, very
Yes, yes,
wonderful
yes.
session, madam. I thought, see, so many of education through technology is developed. Somebody is attending class, some few of not attending the class. So lack of missing for knowledge for student. Only technology is developed, resources is available. It's okay. Quality is reducing, no, ma'am. In the lack of quality.
That is, one second. You are saying the quality is reduced, okay?
Quality is reduced.
Is it in higher education? Yes. See, if you look into our students, particularly because I don't want to go into the school education, I know there are a lot of difficulties. When you take the higher education, I think that using the technology, people are learning many things, right? So the open resource content and the MOOCs, NPTEL, Swayam, Coursera, edX, Ramasamy sir, Murugan sir. Ah, please mute. So these things have provided an opportunity for us to use it. So as a teacher, we have to curate and give it to the students so that they can use it. So we can take the horse to the pond, but the horse has to take the water, no? That is there. They should have that interest. That also is only motivation, I said. Motivated learners will learn more. So that is also a part of us to learn the. So you have to set high standards for our students. That only the teachers can do it. The curriculum can be there. But if you say that okay, this is okay, this is okay. If you want to get pass mark, you do this. No, that will never help you in uh, increasing the quality of education. Okay, they will pass you, okay, you will get good name and they will also get the marks, that's okay. But quality will never improve. So you have to set the goal. Goal setting is very important, where you have to push yourself high. That is, you means you and your students. So that the higher thing, the outcomes are achieved more, right? So that is what I can say. It's
Thank you,
difficult,
madam.
challenging, difficult.
Thank you, madam. You are wonderful sessions. Nice answering that. Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for that question, because it also makes me to think about it, right? And act. So thank you very much. If there is no more question, thanks for the opportunity given for me to share my experiences.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with our participants.
So with your permission, shall I leave, sir? Right.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. So dear participants, we are closing the day 1 session here. So we will meet tomorrow 9 a.m. at the first session handled by retired professor Dr. Ganesh. He is handling universal human values. So thank you participants.